Hey guys, my name is Dana and I have a real quick message for you that I'm actually really excited to share. And I know this is weird because most people when they have a bad experience with somebody, they're really pissed off and they come across like really hastily and like confrontational and just nasty. And that's not what I want to do. That's not why I'm recording this. That's not what I'm trying to say. That's not who I am. So that's why I'm going to stay excited about it, because actually what I'm trying to do is educate you and help the next guy who might possibly get into a situation like this to learn from my mistake and then to not have it happen to them. So I'm going to try to make a very long, complicated story as quickly and short as possible. So bear with me. Just a little bit about me. So I'm an entrepreneur. I own a business. I've got a company. I've got 6 full-time employees. Got payroll. I got families to feed. It's awesome. Very blessed to be where I'm at. And when I was a couple of years ago, when I was getting started, I met somebody who actually I bought a house, and then I used this realtor's suggestion for a person to get my loan through them, and then one thing led to another, and then I ended up like getting recruited by their bank to take all of my personal and commercial needs to them. And at first it was fantastic. Like I went from a bigger bank to this one, and this one, and I'll be honest what bank it was. It was Minnesota Bank and Trust, and they're a small bank, and at first, like I said, it was amazing. They gave me a bunch of attention. I had a dedicated account rep. They were so good to me, like in so many different ways, and it was amazing. And then let's fast forward about a year and a half, and my business started growing, and then I got linked up to the person that's in charge of like the commercial banking stuff. So like the third party, like, let me give you an example. So as your business grows and like you're gonna need more things, like for me I needed merchant services, or some people might need something else. This person at this particular bank is in charge of hooking you up with those services. So I already had a year and a half of a great experience with the bank. I'm trusting them. I'm like, sure, yeah, why not? Like, let's do it. Like, it makes sense. Let's do it. And this is where my horror story begins. So, and I can laugh about it now because it's 6 months ago, but it's not funny. It sucked. It's horrible. And I just got to share it with you so that it protects you from something like this happening. So, long story short, I had merchant services already. I was already set up and it was working and like everything was fine. The problem is I didn't like the way I was getting treated by that particular merchant. I thought their customer service was really bad. And I trusted my bank because they gave me great customer service at the time, and they said, look, we've got a great merchant, we'll hook you up with them, they'll treat you well, it'll be great. And I'm like, perfect, let's do it. So then I did it, and I did have one caveat. I said to my bank person and the person at the new merchant, I said, look, I already have a merchant that's working, okay? They don't treat me the way I want to be treated, okay? As long as you do that for me, we're good to go. But I have one caveat. I have a huge promotion planned, all right, for this date and time, which is about 6 weeks in the future when we had our first conversation. I said, the only promise you have to make me is that we're going to have no downtime. Absolutely no downtime, okay? They agreed. They're like, sure, of course, we'll take care of you. And I'm like, awesome, let's do it. So fast forward 6 weeks later, we're set up and everything seems good. And then the new merchant starts calling me and emailing me and saying, oh, we need all this stuff, and you know like, I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Why is this happening? Like, I thought you were gonna take care of me. And then all of a sudden, like 30 minutes before my promotion, that I said specifically, I cannot have downtime. I have a promotion plan that's a year in the making. I have vendors who I've spent money with. I have people who have worked, contractors, employees, and myself that I've paid all this money to set up this promotion, okay? Huge promotion. And I'm like, you guys knew that, right? And 30 minutes before literally going live on the promotion, the new merchant calls me up and says, we're shutting you down. We're not accepting one dime of payments, okay? So don't even try. And they're like, click. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no way. What? I'm like, what? So I'm scrambling at this point, and it's 30 minutes before my promotion that I've been building up for a year, right? I should probably be doing like getting ready for that, but instead I'm calling every single number at the merchant, pleading with them like, you guys please work with me, like you can't not shut me down. Like I didn't do anything to deserve that, number one. Number two, you knew I had this promotion, like this was part of the deal. And then I couldn't get a hold of anybody. Literally. And then suddenly everybody in that department, the risk department at the merchant, was unavailable. They all went home suddenly, right? Of course, conveniently. So this is what I did. Instead of just like crumbling, which I wanted to do, I just said, whatever, okay? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to smash this promotion. I'm going to just deal with it. I'm going to do the promotion and I'm going to make some money and I'm going to do, I'm just going to fulfill my end of the deal. Okay, I spent all this time and money and energy and all these people were on board. All these people were depending on me for this promotion, all right? So I did the promotion and it went fantastically, okay? It couldn't have gone better. It was amazing. And then the next day I figured, okay, thank God, like I will plead and I will like plead with them and negotiate and we'll get it to work out somehow. We'll get this squared away, okay? And then this is what happened. The next day hits and I call up the merchant and I'm like, hey guys, the promotion went really well, okay? I know that you're, for whatever reason, you as the risk department is, you're not like totally, like whatever, there's an issue, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we can process these transactions. That's all I care about. And I asked them, please, put 100% of the funds on a risk reserve, okay? 100% of them for 6 months. However long you want to keep it, just take it. Just please promise me that you're not going to not let these transactions go through. So I forgot this part of the story. The promotion went so well, I did over $200,000. I did over $200,000 and I'm begging this merchant to please process these transactions. That means there were like 300 plus people who gave me money and are begging for me to send them, to send what I sold to them, right? And I have this merchant holding me hostage and telling me, no, we can't do it. Right? No. They wouldn't even negotiate with me. Like they wouldn't even put it on a reserve. They said, no doing, we're refunding every single transaction. So then I have 300 pissed off customers who now I don't have control of their money. I can't fulfill their order and I can't even tell them why. I just say, well, I guess this merchant decided that I can't sell this to you. And then if it's not crazy enough at this point, the customer's money was literally held hostage and in limbo for some of them 2 weeks. So I couldn't even refund them. The merchant it was up to them to refund them. So anyway, okay, there goes $200,000 and I'm just like, how could this possibly have happened, all right? And now for the last 6 months, that was 6 months ago, I've been reeling from that, I'm still trying to recoup from that because it's not even just the loss of the money, it's the trust of the customers. Because what a miserable experience for them. They didn't deserve that. And that's what really got me like so, I felt called to make this video because it's not fair to people like that to have their money, played with and messed with their life, and just it made me look awful to them and that made me feel awful. I spent literally 3 days straight, I hardly even slept, just emailing people, everybody I could, like, I'm so sorry that this is happening, I promise I'm gonna make it right. And it was a nightmare, you guys. It was a nightmare. But this is the lesson that I learned, all right? This is the whole point of me making this video. I stopped asking myself why it happened because I figured out why it happened. It happened because the person at Minnesota Bank and Trust who was supposed to be doing me a service and taking care of me knew nothing about my business, all right? They literally knew nothing about my business. I had one conversation with that person prior to them making the suggestion that I should go to this merchant because life's gonna be better over there. Okay, so that's red flag number one, and I learned that lesson. So don't let somebody that doesn't know you or your business tell you what to do with your business, right? That's a terrible idea. That's a lesson I learned the hard way, okay? So that's number one. Number two, I've also learned that small banks, there's a major disadvantage, and that is they don't know what they're doing, all right? I hate to say it. Some of them probably do, and they're great people. However, this proves it. That person at this bank cost me $200,000 and ruined 300 people's trust in me. And here's where it went to the next level, okay? I tried to just all I wanted. Okay, I didn't threaten to sue. I didn't do anything crazy. That's not who I am. All I did was I'm like, look, to the person that probably shouldn't have like referred me to these merchants. I said, look, all I'm asking from you is to just first of all, like, let me know like that you screwed up. Like, that's all. Just admit like, whoops, I probably shouldn't have done that. That's all I wanted. And this person refused. They won't even talk to me. And I wasn't mean, I wasn't nasty, I wasn't anything. I'm just like, look, this is what happened. It was awful. Can you please just tell me like I'm sorry and like, you know, like it won't like I'm gonna use this to get better, but they won't. They deflected me to the legal department. So I had, instead of getting more customer service, which was the whole point of being at that bank, they sent me to a legal person who basically said, we're not revisiting this, shut up. Basically, in legal terms. And it's just like, you guys, you totally missed it. All you had to do was just get on the horn with me and tell me, look, we screwed up, Dana. We still love you. I'm so sorry. We're going to use this to get better so it doesn't happen again. And they refused to do it. So that's why I'm leaving them. And that's why I'm encouraging you now, even if you're a small business, if you're a big business, go now. But I'm just saying, I will never go to a small bank again, ever. Never. I will never trust them. And the reason is because they're small for a reason. Okay? They're going to tell you, oh, you have all these advantages, you got a dedicated rep, customer service is going to be great. And to an extent, yes. But what happens when you start growing? They don't know. It becomes over their head. Okay? They don't understand what to do. And then they refer you to people they shouldn't. It's kind of like, looking back, hindsight, you know, is obviously, it's kind of like that, that girl you dated in college and you knew she was really bad for you, but she gave you all this attention and it was cool and stuff and made you feel important, but then you knew she was bad for you. That's what working with a small bank is like. So I'm pleading to you, like, I have nothing to sell here except for my own horror story that you can use to like not have this happen. Please don't work with a small bank. Like, go to a big bank. They're big for a reason. They've been around forever for a reason. And once you grow to a point, you're no longer going to be a number. I know at first it's going to be scary and, you know, you're just a little fish in a big sea. But if you keep growing your business and building, they're going to take care of you. And every step of the way, that's important, because that's a hard lesson that I learned is when you start out as a small business, a small bank is great. But once you start growing, they just don't know what they're doing, and that's the God honest truth. So I hope you take this the right way, because I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I'm just literally trying to educate you. Like, banks are big and small for a reason. The big ones serve the people that need them. The small ones serve the people that need them. So if you're not a growing business, okay, if you don't have employees, if you're a one-man show, whatever, you're not making that much money, go with a small bank. That's cool. But if you're actually a real business that wants to grow and like not have horror stories, run away from the small banks. They're a nightmare. The big banks are there for a reason. They know what they're doing. I'm not endorsing any banks. I'm just showing you what happened to me so that hopefully it doesn't happen to you. So don't trust the small banks. Certainly don't trust the merchants. They're not on your side. But the crappy part is we have to use them because we don't have a choice. Otherwise, if you have any questions or thoughts, please leave a comment. I'm happy to be real and just explain more about this. And hopefully it helps. If it helps one person to not go through what I went through, that's worth it to me. So let me know if you have any questions. Just post a comment below. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys soon.